Let us see how we can install and configure a Flutter development environment in our Windows PC. So if you are using Windows, then you can follow along. But if you are using like Linux or like Mac OS, then it may be a bit different, but it may be a bit similar too. So we will be using a Windows over here, and we'll be installing and configuring the Flutter development environment in our Windows PC. So let us get started over here. First of all, we'll just go and search for the we need to download the Flutter, and I will just switch back to the English over here, and let's go to the install the Flutter over here. So let's just select over here, and we will select from here a Windows, or if you are in the Mac OS, depending on your OS, you can select it from here. So I'll just select the Windows from here, and first of all we just need to see the system requirement. At least we need a Windows 7 of Service Pack 1, and we need a 64-bit, and at least for disk space. I think this all you should be already have. And another thing is that we should also have a Git for the Windows, and if you haven't installed, then we should just go and install it. So just select this one and go to open it in the new tab, and we can select it from here based on your Windows version. Like if you have a 32-bit version or 64-bit version, you can select it from here. So let us select a 64-bit version from here, since I am using 64-bit of the Windows, and just select that one. And if you don't know from where you can know whether you are 64-bit or the 34-bit, you can just go, and simple way is to go to the control panel, and then you can select, let me set it to the large icon, and just go to the system from here. And in the system you can see that we have a 64-bit of the operating system, or the x64 base processor. So from here you can basically know that this is a 64-bit operating system. So you can just select that one, and yeah, so let me install it first of all. So let's go to the download folder, and let me install the Git from here. Just double click on it, and we will just follow the installation steps from here. Just click on yes, and then just click on next, and select the destination folder where you would like to install it. Just I'll keep as a default one, C drive, and the program files and Git. Just click on next, and I think just leave on the default. If you want the icon on the desktop, you can just select, and based on the other condition you can select from here. And I'll just click on next from here, and just click on next. And if you want to use any editor, like from here, if you have any install any of those, you can just select, but just leave it as a default for now. And we'll just say let the Git decide or to use a default branch. So just click on next, and over here we will just select the Git from the command line and also from the third-party application, because if you go back over here it says use the Git from the Windows command prompt option. So we need to select use the Git from the command line option as well as from the third-party software. Just click on next, and use a bundle SSH, that should be fine. Just click on next and default, and just click on check out the Windows style and community, and the commit the Unix style line editing. I'll just select that one, just click on next, and I'll just be using MinTT style default terminal over here, and just a default, and then I'll just say Git Session Install Manager Core. I'll just select the default one from here, and enable the file system caching. That should be fine. And these are all the experimental. I think we should you should be okay that if you don't select any of those, and just click on install it. Just wait for a bit to get it installed. When it's getting installed, let us go back to our Flutter dev website over here, and then we need to get the Flutter SDK from here, and just click on this zip folder, and it should download that particular zip folder over here. And then when it is downloading, you can read some of the how to set up the folder location. So you can set up in your user, C drive user, and your username and the documents, or else you can also use it in our you can also use directly in the C drive. So it's mentioned that do not install the Flutter in the directory like the C drive program files that require a evaluated privilege, which means that only the admin can have, the administrator has access or the privilege to this particular folder. So it doesn't recommend us to install on this location. So we will be installing directly in our C drive. So let me go back to our C drive over here and select the spaceship from here and go to the C drive. And let me select over here. I think I'll just create a one folder over here, and I'll just say Flutter. And inside this, we will just copy that particular folder that we have downloaded. Yeah, I think it's downloaded. Okay, so this is the folder that we have just downloaded, Flutter for Windows 2.5.2 stable version. So just extract this. I need to extract all, and just extract all. Just keep some time to extract, and it may take a bit time to extract it to your unzip folder, so just wait for it. And when it is extracting, let us go to our Windows. The Git has successfully installed, and you can just click on finish from here. And now if you go and select, we can see that we have the Git installed already. So let me just drag it, and for the Git bus, I'll just drag it over here because we'll be using that Git bus. And now you can see we have this particular terminal where we can use the Git command. So just say Git, and it will show you all of the Git command from there. So that's the thing that we have installed the Git successfully, and next we need to wait for the extract to complete. Since the extraction of our zip folder has been completed, you can just check there whether the file is already there. And the next thing is that we'll just have to copy or cut whatever you want to do. Just copy it to our location in our C drive Flutter. So you can just select the any folder or create the any folder and add that particular folder inside that one. Make sure that add that particular Flutter folder inside this one. If you want to create another folder like some different folder, that's perfectly fine. That's up to you. And make sure you don't install in the program files and also the program file x86, because these are the folder that requires the evaluated privilege, which means that it requires the administrative permission. So don't just install in these two folder, and also in the Windows, that's obviously the Windows 4 folder. We should not touch it. And if you are okay, then you can just also use the users and just select your user and then install it over there in the documents or other folder. But I'll just set it to the C drive, and it's more easy and convenient to find where is the location and all of those stuff. So just paste it over here, and I think that will take a bit time to copy it over there. Okay, so the copy has been successfully completed, and now you can go inside this folder, and you need to go inside the bin, and this particular bin folder has the batch file for the Dart as well as the Flutter. And now if I open Git bus over here, and if I type something like Flutter, then you can see the Flutter. I think Flutter doctor, and I think it's not able to find that particular command over here. And then why we are not able to find that doctor is Flutter command is we need to go to our let me go to our in the environment variable, and just select that environment variable, and we need to update it. So just go to the environment variable, and on the path just edit this one, and we need to add a new, and I need to copy this location, C drive flutter bin, and then I'll just go over here and just create a new one and paste it over there. Just click on OK and click on OK too, and now you can just I think just close it, and let me go and open the command prompt. So cmd, and then we'll just type it flutter doctor, and it should be able to find the flutter now. Just wait. Okay, yeah, we are able to get the flutter command, which you can see that we are able to run the flutter command from our command prompt, as well as you should be able to always also run it from the git bus from anywhere, right? So I can just say like flutter, and it should give us the list of the flutter command. Yeah, and then I think I'll just set the option for the git over here to the theme, and I need to change the text appearance. I think by default it's session 9. That's a too low, and I need to set it something like a 14. Just apply it, and then you should be able to have a pretty big font over here, so it should be more easy for you guys to take a look over here. So now this is the way that we need to configure to run the flutter command from everywhere, and we also need to install the Android Studio, and we need some other stuff to be able to set up properly for our flutter development. If you are already Android developer, and if you have already installed the Android Studio, then it should not be a problem over here. But since this is a new setup and we don't have an Android Studio setup over here, next thing that we need to do is set up our Android Studio. And then if you come back to this particular location, bin location, and if you just open the git pass and type the flutter, then it should be able to find that particular command for us. Yeah. And also from here you can open the cmd location, and then just type the flutter, sorry, flutter, and you should be able to go over here, which means now this our flutter command can be run from anywhere. So that's the good thing. And let me close all of this stuff. And it has already mentioned that you need to update our environment variable. So we have already set it up with the flutter bin package, and then we can just run out of all of this stuff command over here. And you can see we just run the flutter doctor that performs some of the debug for us to see what are the error that we have in our setup and what are the missing things that we need to install and configure. So the next thing that we have to do is to install the Android Studio. If you want to try to run some of these commands, you can just copy this command and just go back to our cmd command prompt, or you can also use the git pass and try to run that command and see whether it is working fine or not. So when you say where is the flutter, where flutter dot, you can see this is a flutter location. All of those are information that is provided to us. So that means that this setup is correctly working. Then we need to run the flutter doctor, and just now we saw after we install our git pass, and if we run the flutter doctor, this should give us some of the debug information, and then we need to find if the Android Studio is not installed. So the next step, we will go and install our Android Studio, and for that we'll just go to our Chrome browser or anywhere, and we'll just search for the Android Studio. Sorry, Android Studio is over here, and then we'll download it. So just go to the download Android Studio and the SDK tools, just select it, and then we'll just download the Android Studio and install it. So just select the download Android Studio over here, or you can also select the download options from here, where you can download the different installer and other stuff from here. If you are on the Mac and Linux, the Chrome OS, yeah. So we are currently on the, we will use the exe to install it, or you can just also select the zip file over there. But we'll use a recommended way, which is of the .exe file. Just select this one, and it should download for us. And just accept the terms and condition and download it for the Windows. And the download has successfully completed. So let us launch the .exe or the installer. Or else you can just show in the folder, and then we'll just double click it to install it. And then just select the yes from here, and let me close all of this, because let me just minimize all of those stuff, and just click on the next from here, and just select the Android Studio and the Android virtual device. Click on next and select the location. The default one is perfectly fine, and then just click on install from here. So that should take some time, and just click on the next, which means that it has completed. Just click on next from here, and just click on start the Android Studio. And we don't have in previous installation, we'll just click on do not import and just click on OK. If it asks for something, if it's asking for the data sharing, I don't want to share it. If you want to share it, that's fine, but I don't want to just share it. And just if you want to click on, you can see that this is a welcome screen, and just click on next from here, and just select the standard. That would be fine. And if you want, we will be not using the Android Studio for our Flutter development. We will be using another IDE, which we will install it later. You can just select any of the one that depend on you, but we'll be not using this particular IDE. We just want to get the AVD or the Android virtual device for our Flutter development. So just click on the finish. That should be fine. It will install all of the required SDKs and the Java location, Java JDK, and the Android SDK. So all of those information will be installed for you. Just click on finish for now, and let it complete to download and install all of the SDK for you. And the download has completed, so just click on finish from here. So now it is asking for us to create a new project over here. But for us, we are not interested in creating an Android Studio project over here. We just want to create the Android virtual device, or the AVD. So you can just go to the more option over here, or the more action. Just click on it, and you should select AVD manager over here. Just click on this AVD manager over here, and then we can create a new virtual device using this option. So just click on create a new virtual device, and then you can just select any of the one that you require. So I'll just select the Pixel XL with the 5.5 screen size, and the resolution, and the DPI. Just click on the next from here, and then you need to have installed all of our the SDK. So currently there is no Android API installed. So if you want, you need to download this API from here. So currently I don't have any of the install the Android SDK. So I need to download one of those. So just click on I'll just select the API level of 30 and just download it. And it will take a bit time to download this particular SDK for me. Depending on your internet speed, it may take some time, because it has to download around 1 GB or something plus. So I think it's not starting, so let me double click on it and just accept this particular license agreement, and just click on next. And then it's around the 620 MB. So we need to wait a bit of time. So let me pause the video over here. When it is done, you can just click on finished, and now you have this particular version of the API installed for you. If you want to download other, you can just go and download. So just select this one and click on the next, and then you can give a name for your everyday. You can just give any name depending on your requirement. I'll just give as a default one over here, and then other stuff that should be fine. And I'll just say device frame, enable device frame. I'll just uncheck this one, and the other thing that we need to do should be okay. And depending on your requirement, if you need a device frame, then that should be okay. If you want, then just click on OK and just click on the advanced, and you can set the like other option over here, like the memory, graphic, and other stuff. So how much of the RAM you want to provide, the storage, and all of those stuff. You can just go and just select all of this stuff, and I'll just click on finish from here, and then it should create a new virtual device for us. And that should be fine, but I cannot start this particular device for now because I'm on the virtual device. So I'm just trying to show you how to do all of this stuff, and later I'll be using a real device over here instead of my VMware over here. So currently I'm in the VMware, that's why I cannot start this particular virtual device. So the next thing is that we can go to our Git blast and check run the Flutter command over here to Flutter Doctor, and it should verify that we have installed that our Android Studio. Yeah, the Android Studio check mark is done, and Chrome and the connected device. So there is a small issue. I think that should not be a problem for us. And the next thing that we need to do is install the IDE. So we'll be using Visual Studio Code, and I hope you guys are already familiar. It's really popular among the developer, among the Flutter, and we'll be using that one too. So I will be installing a Visual Studio Code. So let us go back to our Google Chrome over here. Just enlarge this one and search for the Visual Studio Code, and yeah, so that should be the one. Just click on it, and let us download the Visual Studio Code for the Windows. So if you are on the other OS, you can just download it from here, but since I'm on the Windows, so just select the download for Windows from here, and it should start a download, and you can see it's starting, and let me install it. So if I go to the download folder, I should be able to see it over there, right? So let's go to our download folder, and yeah, the Visual Studio Code setup is over here. Just run it, just double click, and should be able to install for us. Let me close all of those because I'm not going to use it for now, and then just accept the agreement and click on next from here. And I'll just use a default location. If you want to change it, and you can go ahead, and let me click on next, and just click on next. And if you want the desktop icon, you can just select OK, and if you want to open with, you can just add that one, right? And then just click on next, and that should install Visual Studio Code for us. And that's great. So now our Visual Studio has been installed. You can just click on launch the Visual Studio Code, and the next thing is that we just need to set up our Visual Studio Code for the Flutter development. So we just need to install some of the plugins, and Visual Studio is mainly based on the plugins that we have to install. So you just select the white or the dark, depending on your preference. I'll just select the white from here, and then just mark all as done, and that should be fine. So now we need to go and configure our Visual Studio to install the Flutter development plugin from here. So the next thing that we will do is we'll just go and install the plugin that we need. For that, we will just select this particular icon from here, which is an extension, or you can also press a Ctrl Shift and X from your keyboard. So just click on this icon, and it will open an extension for you, the list of the extension, and we will be installing Flutter from here. FLU to the Flutter, and just search for the Flutter. And you can see on the first one that you can see we get a Flutter. Just click on this one and you have an option to install, and it says Flutter support and debug for the Visual Studio Code. Just click on install and this will install the Flutter package for you, or the Flutter plugin for the Visual Studio. So just wait for this one to get installed. If you go to the particular dependencies over here, you will see it has a dependency for the Dart package. So the Flutter and the Dart goes together because the Flutter we will be using a Dart programming language, and the Dart is the programming language that we will be writing code to build up our Flutter applications. So Flutter is a framework itself, and the Dart is a programming language which is from the Google itself. So we'll be using a Dart as a programming language to create our Flutter application. All of the coding that we are going to write will be making use of the Dart. So it requires, the Flutter requires the Dart programming or the Dart to be installed as a plugin. So when you just click on this one, it says that it is already installed, because whenever we install the Flutter, it will install the Dart for us automatically, so we don't have to go and install it manually. I think the Flutter package is already installed for us, and then let's go back over here, and if you select this particular Flutter, yeah, I think it's already installed for us. So which means that now we have already installed the most required package, that is a Flutter package for our Visual Studio, and as well as the Dart. So this is the two most required package over here, or the extension that we require in order to get started with our development. And the other required plugin we can install as we go on further. So I think that's complete our setup for our Flutter development using the Windows, and this is how we can configure, install the Flutter development environment in our Windows environment. And we will continue with it, and we will go and write our some of the programs on our coming up lecture. So till then, have a great day.